Landon, when you sign a deal like this, is it customary or kind of tradition that you then have to think of something really creative to do with the rest of the offensive linemen to say, hey, I'm in the big contract now? Is there like a big dinner planned or anything like that?
I don't have any yet, but that's actually a great idea. When I have to work on something when everybody gets back in town, because I know everybody's kind of spread out, traveling and enjoying off season right now, but it's good. I'll have to think about something for that.
What's your reaction, initial thoughts on the new deal?
Super excited. To me, it reiterates how much, the coaches and Howie and Mr. Laurie want to keep me around here. And, I absolutely, love being here, and I really didn't plan on going anywhere else. I have to tell Howie that, though. But, it just shows a lot of respect and, how much, trust they have in me to, continue to grow as a player and develop and do good things for this team and this city.
And with the investment the Eagles have made and the exodus of Jason Kelsey and Fletch, do you see your role changing as a leader here? Move forward?
I think moving forward, obviously, going into my fourth year now, I think that I can absolutely step up and, have more of that leadership role. I know it's, I'm not going to say impossible, but nearly impossible to replace somebody like Jason Kelsey. What he did for not only his teammates, but this city and everybody around him, there's only one of him, and I think there will probably there'll only be one of him. So, big shoes to fill, but, absolutely, I'm going to embrace whatever role comes to me and whatever this team needs.
What did you gain from?
In the past, you're someone who's always been hard on yourself, as you talked to us about. Does something like this, though, allow you to feel a sense of validation?
I wouldn't say a sense of validation when it comes to playing. The extension really, as I said earlier, just kind of shows the, respect and potential that, the coaches and Howie think that I have as a player. And, for me, that only continually makes me want to try and get better and, keep improving on my game, day after day.
You mentioned the trust that they have shown in you with this. What has that conversation been like from the end of the season to now that led to this deal, which makes you the highest paid guard in the NFL right now?
Really it was just, Howie, approached my agent, and they've done most of the talking, honestly. That's kind of why I have them for. So, just really him reaching out, especially this early, to my agent, me, and, letting them know that they wanted to plan to keep me around. Really means a lot to somebody, especially, in this line of work. You never know, when your last day is going to be, or, anything. It's kind of a volatile, area. So, really just kind of like, job security, knowing that, for the next 4 to 5 years, this is where I'm at, this is home.
What did you gain most from playing next to Jason for the last few years?
There's so much stuff. I think, just his ability as a football player obviously is, what a lot of people see. And that's one thing that he's been able to teach me a tremendous amount of is just, his knowledge of the game, his football IQ, things he looks at, things he sees. And then, being in the meeting rooms with him, position, team meeting rooms, seeing how he is in the locker room, how he treats other guys, how to be a good teammate. A lot of valuable lessons he's taught me.
Speaking of Jason, have you been given any indication if you're going to stay at left guard or are you going to shift over to center?
Really, that's not my call. Right now is off season. I know coaches are here meeting, but OTAs rolls around, and Cam Jurgens, I think, is a phenomenal player. He's done everything we've asked him to do. Extremely talented, extremely smart. I think there are a lot of good options in that offensive line room of guys that can move to center, and I think really it's a thing of once we get to OTAs and training and start hammering out what guys are going to fit best where. And my philosophy has always been put the best 5 guys on the field no matter where they're going to play. Now, I'm not going to change Lane Johnson and Jordan, so the best 3 guys maybe. So.
As Lefty talks up to your agent, when you chose to sign when you did, obviously you could have waited until the contract was up. Why was it important to do it as soon as you could here?
Yeah, absolutely. Being here has been a tremendous, bright spot in my life, and we really didn't plan on being anywhere else. And, you know, the only thing I've heard of is, you know, guys when they leave this organization and go somewhere else and how much they miss, you know, everything about this place. You know, for me, I just didn't want there to be any question about, you know, how much I wanted to be here and stick around here and hopefully be here my entire career.
Why do you think you fit so well here?
I mean, I think it's just, you know, the way that, you know, the city and the fans feed off this team and the way, you know, vice versa there. You know, it's a very demanding place to play, and a lot of people, you know, aren't up for that task. But for me, I absolutely love it. There's a high expectation every season, and, you know, the fans are going to let you know how you guys are doing, whether it's, you know, walking down the middle of the street or going in at halftime. They're brutally honest with you, and, you know, I appreciate that, and I just love the passion that this city and everybody has here. It's hard to find anything like that anywhere else in the country.
Landon, a moment ago you just talked about Cam Jurgens. What did you learn about him in his first full year as a starter?
Yeah, Cam obviously tremendous athlete overall, very smart guy, and he's always kind of, you know, nose in the dirt, nitty gritty. It's, you know, he's not going to find an excuse for himself. He's always going to, you know, find a reason why he can do something.
You mentioned that there are players who have left and then realized what they missed. You may have mentioned some of it, but are there moments that you've experienced in the present and the past around this city, this organization, that helped you see that in the present instead of the, you know, looking back at it like other players have?
I mean, obviously I don't have the perspective that other players have, but, you know, every day I come in here is a reason that I want to stay. I mean, not only, you know, the teammates that I have, the coaches, you know, the other faculty here, you know, Howie, Mr. Laurie, the ownership, you know, really everything about this place is, you know, what I enjoy and is why I want to be here.
What are your early thoughts on blocking for Saquon?
Obviously, extremely excited to add a talented guy like that to the roster. You know, again, I've said this, I think, for the past 3 years, but, you know, every team has a one-year expiration on it. And, you know, bringing in a guy like Saquon, I think for us is, you know, adding to the amount of talent that we have. And, you know, I'm really excited to see what he does.
What's the next step in your game?
My game personally?
Yes.
I think for me, it's going to be more of a role of looking at defenses and trying. I know, and now obviously it's hard to replace what Kels was able to see and do, but being more involved in trying to, you know, have a game plan that's going to be good, and, you know, trying to check things on the fly and maybe, you know, over communicating things to, you know, whoever the center may be or the quarterback or anything like that. Just, you know, really increasing that role overall.
How much does having Stout here factor into you wanting to, you know, continue with this organization?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Stout's a big factor. I mean, I think probably the best offensive line coach in the NFL right now. You see what he's been able to do with any guy that's come in here. There's no replacing, you know, Coach Stout, and he's been here for a long time, and I don't think he's planning on going anywhere either. So, worked out for both of us.
Has your relationship with him kind of evolved over the last few years?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the more time you spend around somebody, especially, you know, during camp, you're around somebody, you know, 8, 9, 10, 11 hours a day, and you know, our relationship's grown, and, you know, we go out and play golf occasionally now. So once the weather gets better, we'll probably start doing that.
What are your initial thoughts on Kellen Moore? Have you talked to him?
I briefly talked to him. Just I know I talked to him when he kind of first got up here, just in passing. Just wanted to introduce myself. Again, extremely excited to see, you know, what he can do. I watched and kind of know what he did in LA and Dallas, and, you know, I'm a fan of, you know, his offense and his play calling and style, and, you know, I think he can do a lot with the talent we have on this roster.
You spoke about fitting in this area. We see the home improvement projects that you do. At what point did you decide to make this your year-round home?
Yeah, I mean, you know, since we moved up here, you know, finding our house and settling in where we are, we love it here. Yeah, I think it was probably within, you know, the first couple months of us buying the house, we were like, you know, this is kind of home for us year-round.
And then at these kind of moments, are you a reflective person? Did you think back to, you know, first play you played, to that point, from then to now, the journey you've taken?
Oh yeah, the first play I had was awful. I think I talked about it on Kelsey's podcast actually. Yeah, not very good. If you want to watch it, it was the San Fran game 2021. I wouldn't recommend pulling it up, but it did not go very well. But yeah, just reflecting off that, and not only that, but even going back to high school and college, and what all I've been through, it just really makes me appreciate being here.
Who was the first person you called after you agreed to terms on the contract?
Who was it? I think I called my parents. Yeah, I called my dad because my mom was working, and then my mom called me because I didn't want to bother her at work. So then I called her too. So yeah, I called my parents. That was the first two people I called.
What words of wisdom or encouragement did they have for you?
They were just super excited for me. They told me how much I deserved it, and yeah, pretty much they were just really ecstatic for me and happy, and yeah.
As you know, Jordan Mailata was stumping for you at this type of deal. What was his reaction?
Jordan's in Italy right now. It's a little bit of time zone difference there, but I think he's pretty happy too. I talked to him later in the day after we agreed to terms. I guess that's the right phrasing for it there, but yeah, he was extremely happy for me too. Sadly, I think he's going to be gone until April, so won't get to celebrate with him until then. But
How do you wrap your head around that, that level of money, I guess, and, what do you plan on doing with it, I guess?
I mean, I have a financial advisor for a reason. I don't know, I may go get a new lawnmower, kind of something I've been looking into.
Riding?
Yeah, zero turn, so.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank y'all.